Kaguya-sama's good. I mean like, really good. Okay, it's perfect. I'm sure you all know about Kaguya-sama. It was huge when it came out back in 2019, and to this day that stupid little Chika Dance thingy won't leave my recommended page. Okay, fine, it's cute, is that what you want? So with the advent of Season 3, I expected Kaguya-sama to be everywhere again. But no, crickets. There were some people talking about it, but not nearly as many as I expected. Maybe it's being overshadowed by the great new shows we've gotten recently, such as Spy Family, I thought. And according to my extensive research, that could be contributing to this loss of attention. But Kaguya-sama is still a giant in the rom-com anime sphere, and with the nearing end of Season 3, it's arguably better than ever. It's gotten to the point where I'm starting to see a large number of people come out and say that they haven't watched Kaguya-sama, and never plan to. And that is exactly why I'm making this video, because there are way too many people missing out on a perfect anime. Probably the biggest selling point for Kaguya-sama is that it's a rom-com that's actually funny. Most of the time when I'm watching a rom-com anime, it ends up going like this. Well, I mean, she hit him. Was that the joke? But no, Kaguya-sama is laugh out loud, knee slapping, choke on your water and die hilarious. It always puts the comedy first, and this translates all the way down to the basic premise of the show. Kaguya-sama is a slice-of-life rom-com anime that follows Miyuki Shirogane and Kaguya Shinomiya, both students at the prestigious Shuuchin Academy. He's the student council president, and she's the vice president. He likes her, and she likes him, but they're both too scared to confess. As you can see, it's a pretty normal setup for a rom-com. Well, except for the fact that they use Death Note levels of psychological warfare to try and corner the other person and force them to confess their undying love. Like in the title, in this show, love is an all-out war. It's interesting because it satirizes almost every aspect of a conventional rom-com anime by exaggerating it to the extreme. Take for example this scene, where both Kaguya and Shirogane are in need of an umbrella on a rainy day. Typically, shows using this situation would have one character forget their umbrella so the two could share a romantic moment, or if the show was feeling a little spicy, it would have them both forget their umbrellas to make for a comedic moment. But Kaguya-sama says nah. They both brought one, but they also checked the weather, checked the bike rack, popped their car's tires, and purposely left school at the exact same time with the sole intent to catch the other person in a lie about not bringing an umbrella and make them confess their desire to share one. Now that is some over-exaggeration. And this is precisely where Kaguya-sama's comedy comes from. That feeling of overthinking literally everything when you're with someone you like is taken to extreme heights in Kaguya-sama and provides the basis for great character-focused comedy. Probably the biggest area that Kaguya-sama's writing excels at is creating an interesting dynamic between members of the main cast. Each member is so unique and lovable in their own way. You've of course got the main duo, Kaguya and Shirogane, who are both somehow extremely intelligent and extremely dim-witted at the same time. You've got Chika, who's an airheaded wildcard meant to throw a wrench into all the others' plans. Just take that scene that I talked about earlier and have Chika come in with an extra umbrella. This setup will never not be funny. You've also got Miko Iino, who's uptight and has an obstinate sense of justice, but sometimes lets her, eccentricities slip through the cracks. And of course, we saved the best for last. The man, the myth, the absolute legend, Ishigami. I'm telling you, this man is a walking W. He has a whole host of flaws and problems. He's gloomy, he's socially awkward, and he's disliked by many for an incident that occurred in his past. But you know what? Ishigami does not let any of that drag him down. He takes responsibility, puts himself out there, and he always sacrifices his pride to help those around him. Ishigami is the GOAT. And that concludes my TED Talk. What I love about these characters is that you can map out all of their relations with every other character in extreme detail. They're all connected. Take for example Kaguya and Ishigami's relationship. At first, these two didn't like each other, and Ishigami was scared of Kaguya due to her cold nature. But after Kaguya helps to tutor Ishigami, they develop this sort of unexpected little side connection where Kaguya cheers Ishigami on in his quest for love. Another fun example of this would be Chika's almost motherly role as Shirogane's coach in pretty much everything he's bad at, which is a lot of things. These types of relationships are awesome, and I love them so much because they add huge amounts of depth to each character. When you have characters as good as Kaguya-sama's, you don't even need to place them in unique situations to create comedic moments. Actually, most of the show's time is just spent hanging out in the student council room, but it's able to do this because of the way these characters bounce off each other so naturally. Situations like a card game, an arm wrestling tournament, and a balloon pumping competitions are somewhat normal and mundane for a group of teenagers. But again, it's the extreme extent to which Kaguya-sama exaggerates these situations that allows for the characters' personalities to shine. Rap battle? No, I think you're mistaken. This is a passionate and intense outcry of emotion in an effort to reveal the true desires of one's soul. Every action taken in this show holds a comically large amount of weight, and so it's all these actions, all the mind games, all the witty back and forth banter, and all the outcomes that work to characterize Kaguya-sama's characters. And this is important because it allows for the serious moments to hit hard. Kaguya-sama is a fantastic comedy, but that's not all this show has to offer. It's the way the show is able to tie in the comedy with a genuinely compelling romantic narrative that makes it the best romance story I've ever consumed, bar none, period. Each character gains massive levels of development throughout the series, and their backstories are all heartwarming and even sometimes just straight up sad in their own way. The suspense this show is able to build up at the climax of each season and the payoff it always manages to give us is unmatched by any romance I've seen. Kaguya-sama is as close to perfect as a rom-com story can be. But I can't call it perfect. No story is. So why did I call Kaguya-sama a perfect anime in the title of this video? Clickbait. Yep. I mean, you clicked, so it kinda worked, you know? Oh yeah, and also the fact that Kaguya-sama is a perfect anime adaptation. Usually when people think about a great anime adaptation, they think about a show with great animation. Budget Slayer, Bajutsu Kaisen, yeah, I'm not even gonna try and combine that one. These are all shows that people would probably consider to be great adaptations, and yeah, they are. They all have some amazing sakuga, as the pretentious weebs would call it, and they all elevate their source material to a new level in almost every way. But what if I told you that I think Kaguya-sama, a rom-com, has better visuals than any of these? Well, obviously, after making it this far into the video, you can tell that this anime isn't some sakuga fest that'll give you an orgasm every 5 seconds. Well, except for those ending sequences. But the reason I say that Kaguya-sama's visuals are better than all of these is how creative its visual presentation is. You know all those reaction shots in Kaguya-sama that people post all over the place? The ones that go like... Yeah, well, these shots are an example of great animation. Yeah, I know, no one's head is getting chopped off, but hear me out. Kaguya-sama has mastered the art of expressive character animation, and these shots are proof of that. Each one perfectly conveys a specific emotion that can be recognized even without sound. And it's not just these shots that are impressive, but almost every little movement the characters make. Each character in Kaguya-sama is animated in unique ways in order to accentuate their personalities and add to their characterization. Kaguya is typically animated with an emphasis on her cold red eyes that glare into other souls. But when she gets flustered, they turn into these little chibi eyes to highlight her childish behavior. Shirogane is animated to move in awkward ways that only intensify as he gets nervous. And Chika, being the ball of energy she is, just cannot sit still. These animated movements add a whole new dimension to Kaguya-sama's characterization that's just not possible in manga. But the Kaguya-sama anime isn't satisfied with just making the manga panels move. It strives to make every frame as engaging as possible. Remember earlier when I talked about how over-the-top Kaguya-sama's story is? Well, the anime's visuals work in the exact same way. Everything that's portrayed on screen is exaggerated to an extreme level in order to complement the comedy of this series. Just take a look at the anime does with an arm wrestling scene. Bro, they're going Super Saiyan. Is this Dragon Ball? Kaguya-sama uses engaging visual gags like this all the time. Whether it be using security camera footage, turning an interaction into a fighting game, or putting all the characters' faces on Thomas the Tank Engine, Kaguya-sama always finds a creative way to frame its situations. Even just the way different backgrounds are used as characters are talking is so unique when compared to other shows. Take a look at this scene of Shirogane rapping in the manga. It's funny, but it's also quick and somewhat forgettable. Now take a look at the scene in the anime and... Bro, what? This is a whole music video. Kaguya-sama's visuals elevate the comedy of the manga in almost every way possible, and when combined with some banging music, we get scenes like what we just witnessed. One thing in Kaguya-sama that I've pretty much never seen in any other anime is the way that the music enhances the comedy. It'll just be like Kaguya and Shirogane on a phone call with the freaking Elden Ring boss theme playing. In essence, the music becomes a part of the joke because it's so unnecessarily over the top. Every single piece of music used in this soundtrack is lively and over-dramatic in the same way. Some of them are energetic to an intense level, while others are so romantic that it's cheesy. I'm especially fond of when they put this super mournful track over scenes that should not be that sad. Also, did I forget to mention that the opening and ending songs slap? All 3 openings are so smooth and are sung by possibly the biggest Jad I've ever laid my eyes upon. And those endings, man, they're a whole movie. It's not just the soundtrack that's commendable, but also the anime's use of sound in general to craft jokes. Just look at the scene of Kaguya whining and tell me it's not clever. The sound fading in and out like that is literally impossible in manga format, and so the anime is essentially adding its own joke to the source material. By the way, this isn't a one-off thing. Kaguya-sama regularly uses sound like this to add to its comedy throughout the show. Some of the manga's jokes even feel like they were always meant to have sound, like this one, where Iino doesn't realize that her earbuds are unplugged. And can we talk about the voice acting? There is not a single character in this show who isn't backed by an incredible voice acting performance. Even the one-off side characters all have great voice acting to back them. Kaguya's voice actress perfectly captures both her cold, calculated moments alongside her flustered, whiny ones. Ishigami's voice actor can play his quiet and reserved moments, but also his slightly unhinged ones. And do I even need to say anything about Chika's voice actress? You know it's good. Probably the most underrated voice performance, however, is the narrator's. The way he voices his lines has so much personality behind it, making him feel like a real person watching the show alongside you. All his little remarks are perfectly timed and add the final touch to all the comedic scenes. Oh yeah, also, shout out to the English dub's narrator. That man is wild.
Because Shirogane is a mother flippin' tsundere.
All the voice actors in Kaguya-sama fulfill their roles perfectly and capture the essence of their character to a T. It feels like they're all having so much fun and really care about their roles, and that transfers over to every other aspect of the show. Instead of feeling like a cash grab like so many other anime do, it feels like the people behind Kaguya-sama truly care about the product they're putting out. There's so much love and care infused into every little detail. The bombastic visuals, the energetic voice acting, and the unreasonably good soundtrack all work to elevate the source material to a new level. This is what anime can and should be. I am sick and tired of seeing these lifeless adaptations of great manga. Yes, I know, I'm just a dude complaining on the internet, and anime studios don't usually have the best conditions to work on their shows, but regardless of whether or not there's enough funding or time, when the people behind an anime care, it shows. I don't expect everything to be at Kaguya-sama's level, but like, come on now, we can do better than this. You can say all the bad things you want about Kaguya-sama's story, but you have to admit that Kaguya-sama is a perfect anime. It constantly pushes the medium to its limit in order to elevate the source material, and for this reason, it has become one of my all-time favorite anime. But Nitsua, you can't say that, it's not deep or anything. No, shut up. When a show has this much passion behind it, is this creative, and is as fun as Kaguya-sama is, I don't care. It's perfect to me.